Question 1. Who was the first king of Israel anointed by Samuel? A. Saul. B. David. C. Solomon. D. Jeroboam. The right answer is letter A. Then Samuel took a flask of oil, poured it on Saul's head, kissed him, and said, "Has not the Lord anointed you ruler over his inheritance? When you leave me today, you will find 2 men at Rachel's tomb in Zelzah, on the border of Benjamin." Question 2. In which year did the Israelites enter the Promised Land? A. 1446 BC, B. 1406 BC, C. 1250 BC, D. 1200 BC. The right answer is letter B. The Israelites entered the Promised Land 40 years after the Exodus, which is traditionally dated around 1406 BC. Question 3. Who was the judge who vowed to sacrifice the first thing that came out of his house if he won the battle? A. Gideon. B. Ehud. C. Samson. D. Jephthah. The right answer is letter D. And Jephthah made a vow to the Lord. "If you give the Ammonites into my hands, whatever comes out of the door of my house to meet me when I return in triumph from the Ammonites will be the Lord's, and I will sacrifice it as a burnt offering." Question 4. Who was the prophet that anointed Jehu to overthrow the house of Ahab? A. Elijah. B. Elisha. C. Hosea. D. Amos. The right answer is letter B. Elisha the prophet called one of the sons of the prophets and said to him, "Tuck your cloak into your belt, take this flask of olive oil with you, and go to Ramoth Gilead. When you get there, look for Jehu son of Jehoshaphat, the son of Nimshi. Go to him, get him away from his companions, and take him into an inner room." Question 5. What animal is described in Revelation as having 7 heads and 10 horns? A. A dragon. B. A beast from the earth. C. A beast from the sea. D. A lamb. The right answer is letter C. Then I saw a beast with 10 horns and 7 heads rising out of the sea. There were 10 royal crowns on its horns and blasphemous names on its heads. The beast I saw was like a leopard, with the feet of a bear and the mouth of a lion. And the dragon gave the beast his power and his throne and great authority. Question 6. Who was the Babylonian king during the fall of Jerusalem in 586 BC? A. Nebuchadnezzar. B. Belshazzar. C. Darius. D. Cyrus. The right answer is letter A. And it came to pass in the 9th year of his reign, in the 10th month, in the 10th day of the month, that Nebuchadnezzar king of Babylon came, he and all his host, against Jerusalem, and pitched against it, and they built forts against it round about. Question 7. Who found a piece of land during a famine, and later became the father of a great nation? A. Isaac. B. Jacob. C. Abraham. D. Lot. The right answer is letter C. When they came to the land of Canaan, Abram traveled through the land as far as the site of the oak of Moreh at Shechem, and at that time the Canaanites were in the land. Then the Lord appeared to Abram and said, "I will give this land to your offspring." So Abram built an altar there to the Lord, who had appeared to him. Question 8. Who restored the walls of Jerusalem in the 5th century BC? A. Ezra. B. Mordecai. C. Zerubbabel. D. Nehemiah. The right answer is letter D. Then I said to them, "You see the trouble we are in. Jerusalem lies in ruins, and its gates have been burned down. Come, let us rebuild the wall of Jerusalem, so that we will no longer be a disgrace." I also told them about the gracious hand of my God upon me, and what the king had said to me. Question 9. Who was the mother of John the Baptist? A. Elizabeth. B. Mary. C. Martha. D. Anna. The right answer is letter A. When Zechariah saw him, he was startled and gripped with fear. But the angel said to him, "Do not be afraid, Zechariah, because your prayer has been heard. Your wife Elizabeth will bear you a son, and you are to give him the name John." Question 10. What creature in the book of Job is described as breathing fire and smoke? A. Behemoth. B. A seraphim. C. A great fish. D. Leviathan. The right answer is letter D. His snorting flashes with light, and his eyes are like the rays of dawn. Firebrands stream from his mouth. Fiery sparks shoot forth. Smoke billows from his nostrils as from a boiling pot over burning reeds. His breath sets coals ablaze, and flames pour from his mouth. Question 11. Who was king of Judea when the rebuilding of the temple was completed in 516 BC? A. Darius. B. Cyrus. C. Artaxerxes. D. Xerxes. The right answer is letter A. So the elders of the Jews continued to build and prosper under the preaching of Haggai, the prophet, and Zechariah, a descendant of Iddo. They finished building the temple according to the command of the God of Israel and the decrees of Cyrus, Darius, and Artaxerxes, kings of Persia. Question 12. Who was the Roman governor who tried Jesus? A. Pontius Pilate. B. Herod Antipas. C. Festus. D. Felix. The right answer is letter A. Then they led Jesus from Caiaphas to the palace of the Roman governor. By now it was early morning, and to avoid ceremonial uncleanness, the Jews did not enter the palace. They wanted to be able to eat the Passover. So Pilate came out to them and asked, "What charges are you bringing against this man?" Question 13. Which animal did Balaam beat until the Lord opened its mouth to speak? A. A camel. B. A horse. C. A donkey. D. An ox. The right answer is letter C. When the donkey saw the angel of the Lord, she lay down under Balaam, and he became furious and beat her with his staff. Then the Lord opened the donkey's mouth, and she said to Balaam, "What have I done to you, that you have beaten me these 3 times. Question 14. Who prayed for God to extend his life by 15 years, which was granted? A. Josiah. B. Hezekiah. C. David. D. Solomon. The right answer is letter B. And the word of the Lord came to Isaiah, saying, Go and tell Hezekiah that this is what the Lord, the God of your father David, says. I have heard your prayer. I have seen your tears. Behold, I will add 15 years to your life. Question 15. Who cut his cloak to prove his loyalty to King Saul? A. Jonathan. B. David. C. Abner. D. Joab. The right answer is letter B. So David's men said to him, This is the day about which the Lord said to you, Behold, I will deliver your enemy into your hand, that you may do with him as you wish. Then David crept up secretly and cut off a corner of Saul's robe. Afterward, David's conscience was stricken because he had cut off the corner of Saul's robe. Question 16. What was the sign given to Gideon by the angel to prove that he would save Israel? A. Dew on the fleece only. B. Fire from rock. C. Water flowing uphill. D. Thunder in clear skies. The right answer is letter A. Then Gideon said to God, If you are going to save Israel by my hand, as you have said, then behold, I will place a fleece of wool on the threshing floor. If there is dew only on the fleece and all the ground is dry, then I will know that you are going to save Israel by my hand, as you have said. Question 17. Who was swallowed by a fish as a result of disobedience to God? A. Job. B. Noah. C. Jonah. D. Hosea. The right answer is letter C. Then the men feared the Lord greatly, and they offered a sacrifice to the Lord and made vows to him. Now the Lord had appointed a great fish to swallow Jonah, and Jonah spent 3 days and 3 nights in the belly of the fish. Question 18. Which prophet predicted the destruction of the temple that was fulfilled in 70 A.D.? A. Isaiah. B. Daniel. C. Jeremiah. D. Jesus. The right answer is letter D. Jesus left the temple and was walking away when his disciples came up to him to call his attention to its buildings. "Do you see all these things?" he asked. "Truly I tell you, not one stone here will be left on another. Everyone will be thrown down." Question 19. Who was thrown into a den of lions for praying to God? A. Daniel. B. Jeremiah. C. Ezekiel. D. Hosea. The right answer is letter A. Remember, O king, that by the law of the Medes and Persians no decree or ordinance established by the king can be changed. So the king gave the order, and they brought Daniel and threw him into the den of lions. The king said to Daniel, "May your God, whom you serve continually, deliver you." Question 20. Who deceived the commander of the army by hiding spies under stalks of flax on the roof? A. Delilah. B. Deborah. C. Jael. D. Rahab. The right answer is letter D. At dusk, when the gate was about to close, the men went out, and I do not know which way they went. Pursue them quickly, and you may catch them. But Rahab had taken them up to the roof and hidden them among the stalks of flax that she had laid out there. Question 21. Who had a dream about 7 thin cows eating 7 fat cows? A. Nebuchadnezzar. B. Pharaoh. C. Belshazzar. D. Darius. The right answer is letter B. When out of the river there came up 7 cows, sleek and fat, and they grazed among the reeds. After them 7 other cows, ugly and gaunt, came up out of the Nile and stood beside those on the riverbank. And the cows, that were ugly and gaunt, ate up the 7 sleek, fat cows. Question 22. What animal is described in Proverbs as extremely wise, yet small? A. The ant. B. The locust. C. The coney. D. The spider. The right answer is letter C. 4 things on earth are small, yet they are extremely wise. Ants are creatures of little strength, yet they store up their food in the summer. Hyraxes are creatures of little power, yet they make their home in the crags. Question 23. Who saw a vision of a sheet filled with unclean animals? A. Peter. B. Paul. C. John. D. James. The right answer is letter A. He became hungry and wanted something to eat, but while the meal was being prepared, he fell into a trance. He saw heaven open and something like a large sheet being let down to earth by its 4 corners. It contained all kinds of 4-footed animals and reptiles of the earth, as well as birds of the air. Question 24. Who was resurrected by touching the bones of Elisha? A. A Moabite soldier. B. A dead man. C. An Israelite woman. D. A sick child. The right answer is letter B. Once while some Israelites were burying a man, suddenly they saw a band of raiders. So they threw the man's body into Elisha's tomb. When the body touched Elisha's bones, the man came to life and stood up on his feet. Question 25. Who was promised by God to have descendants as numerous as the stars? A. Abraham. B. Isaac. C. Jacob. D. Joseph. The right answer is letter A. He took him outside and said, "Look up at the sky and count the stars, if indeed you can count them." Then he said to him, "So shall your offspring be." Question 26. Who was the king of Israel that split the baby in 2 as a judgment? A. Saul. B. David. C. Solomon. D. Rehoboam. The right answer is letter C. The king continued, "Bring me a sword." So they brought him a sword, and the king declared, Cut the living child in two and give half to one and half to the other." Then the woman whose son was alive spoke to the king because she yearned with compassion for her son. Question 27. Who refused to be called the son of Pharaoh's daughter, choosing rather to suffer with his people? A. Moses. B. Aaron. C. Miriam. D. Joshua. The right answer is letter A. By faith, Moses, when he was grown, refused to be called the son of Pharaoh's daughter. He chose to suffer oppression with God's people rather than to experience the fleeting enjoyment of sin. Question 28. Who was the apostle that was freed from prison by an angel? A. James. B. Paul. C. John. D. Peter. The right answer is letter D. Suddenly an angel of the Lord appeared, and a light shone in the cell. He struck Peter on the side and woke him up. "Quick! Get up!" he said, and the chains fell off Peter's wrists. Then the angel said to him, "Put on your clothes and sandals." And Peter did so. "Wrap your cloak around you and follow me," the angel told him. Write on the comments how many questions you answered correctly. If you like this quiz, rate it with the like button. Subscribe so you don't miss the next one. Amen.